Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host, my queen consort,
Karen.
And we are live on a Wednesday, ready to give you guys what you've been waiting for all week. The best, if I have to say so myself, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon recap in the world, Craig. The official weapon of the show is...
phone jail?
And the unofficial sport...
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. Of course, you can find this podcast everywhere you find podcasts. Today's show is a recap, okay? Let's just give Karen a second, get a headphone straight over there.
I'm listening.
A lot is happening in the house. No, it's okay. I was just giving you a second so you could... Is everything all right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know it was a distraction. I'm sorry.
It's not a distraction. Wow, this turned real passive aggressive. I thought I was being cute by acknowledging what was happening on the screen, and it turned into oh my God, no, I'm in trouble. You're not in trouble.
No problem.
Oh, you were switching headphones. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I was switching headphones for the transition. I was like, I can't do this with these.
Well, you know what? That's good. That's good because we need to be listening right now. It's about to go down. You can find us everywhere, like I was saying. This is a recap, like I was saying, and then the most important things here is I gotta lay the ground rules. Okay, y'all been doing a great job. Let me say that y'all been doing a great job, honestly.
Kudos, yay!
Like, we've only had one or two people mess up, and it was just a little bit. Like, it wasn't like a egregious mess up. It was just like oops, my bad. So let's go through the rules again because it's important, because some of y'all forget. No predictions. Don't write in and tell us what you think is gonna happen. It's not about what you think gonna happen. It's about what we think is gonna happen. We know you read the books and you know all the stuff. We didn't read those books, and honestly, it's better because we didn't read them. And it's not gonna get better if we did. It's why our shit is better than so many other people who read the books or they engage with the theories from the books. Let us be ignorant, and then you enjoy our ignorance. You get to be smarter than us on this and be like,
yes, you do.
They're so dumb. They don't even know what's about to happen.
These dummies.
We're fine being dumb. It's cool.
Yes.
Keep it short. If you do write in about this shit, we've had experiences in the past where some of y'all thought y'all were George R.R. Martin. Okay? Now look,
y'all had a word minimum you had to meet.
That man can write. He takes a long time to write what he writes. I hear. That's what I hear. But you're not George Railroad Martin. No.
No, you're not.
So you keep your thoughts short. Just a paragraph or two at most. We don't need to know all the inner workings of your mind. And lastly, don't write in before our recaps. We had that in the past where people would write in with their thoughts on the show. You know, we had a call last week for somebody giving us a Sunday night call. It's like, fam, let us do our job, then you tell us how we did.
Tell us if we were good or bad at it.
Yeah, the people here for us, not you. You got to start your own podcast, your own blog, your own medium, your own recap, whatever you got to do. You got to start that on your own, build your own audience. Don't try to steal ours. All right, that's it. Hate to be stern to start off the show, but you know we got to do that. But let's go ahead and get into it. This is episode 5 of season 2, which I believe is scheduled for 8 episodes. So we only have 3 left.
Yeah, they're not even doing a normal 10, are they?
Right. We only have 3 left. This shit
they're
is
longer too.
They have been a little longer. I also have to give credit because I'm enjoying the speed on these episodes. But yeah. You know, that's a big thing for me and Karen. We like it fast. I know a lot of y'all like it slow and drawn out.
I don't want to see ravens flying for 8 episodes.
There's no reason we can't just look. We using a television. Okay,
right.
We not living in the ancient times. Okay, I don't want to wait for the dragons to get there. Just show up, airmail them dragons. Right. Let's go. Next day delivery.
This could have been on a Crow Team's text message. What is this?
What teams?
Crow.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, what is we doing?
All right, so let me play the intro music, and then we'll come right back to this. episode 5. It's called Regent. Karen, let's start how we always start. What'd you think about this episode in general?
I enjoyed it because it's basically the aftermath of Rhaenyra's death.
Rhaenyra's death.
Okay, I was right.
I forgot. Crown's on. My bad.
That's why I changed headphones.
Yep. All right. I always forget. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, my liege.
Only thing I need to give me is a blonde wig. Shit, the budget might go up next season. I might get me one.
And we have our wine, of course. That we're sipping on. You guys to sip on your wine. I don't know, Diso, Romagna, Signina, Dolce. Okay, whatever. I think I wore that. I think I wore those before. But go ahead, please tell me what you thought about this episode in general before we get started.
It was a good episode. It was a lot of talking, but talking that need to be had. And you almost kind of have to slow down after all the things that kind of happened before this. You do need to slow it down a little bit for explanation, fallout, see how everybody's going to respond to things. So this episode was really, really good. It was a lot slower, but it was still good.
Yeah, this one was a talkie.
Yes.
And the talkies mean I have my work cut out for me. Whenever I see these motherfuckers, it's like an hour and 10 minutes or some shit. I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to be writing for a while. And I think this one was 8 pages of stuff. I thought I liked this episode a lot because of the acting.
Yeah, there was like people were really acting.
Like, especially upon rewatch, there were some scenes where I just had to give them so much credit as a show. And I don't say this part often, but take a step back from all this Game of Thrones shit and just think, this shit is about fucking dragons and sword fights and motherfuckers wearing wigs and royal costumes and a bunch of other shit. Silly shit, honestly. Silly witchcraft bullshit, face trees and stuff. And these actors take it so serious and are so professional, and everyone else is on the set, the people that film it, all that stuff. But it really draws you into this extremely weird, nerdy, niche genre of stuff that we've all thought was like, at least when I was a kid, it was like, nerd, you read those books, the dragon book, and yet we're watching top tier actors give great performances. And to me, that's what centered this whole episode, was very serious conversation between two people talking about dragons. Amazing.
Yeah, and I know it's not the same, and I don't want the nerds to put out the pitchfork, but it's not the same. But to me, I kind of treated this all like Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, because I don't know Dungeons and Dragons like a video, like a board game and things. I know books and things like that, but all of the fantastical type of world, and I didn't really grow up with a lot of that stuff. So if you would have told me years ago that I'd have been sitting down recapping and really, really enjoying something like this, I don't know if I would have believed you at that period of time.
Yep. All right, so I'll break it down into locations again, starting with the shorter ones first and then working our way into the 3 main ones, which will be Harrenhal, King's Landing, and then Dragonstone we'll do last. All right, so first of all, Driftmark. We're only here for one sentence. Corlys is sadder than a broke dick dog after Niecy died. He is just
why, baby? Why didn't they take me? Lord, I'm here by myself.
Yeah, he's just sitting, staring by himself.
Right.
Just like looking at the fucking, looking into the sea. He was started looking at the throne.
Yes, this was him.
He went and stood by the throne by himself.
He was a 90s music video.
Honestly, I wish I knew how to edit. I wish I knew how to edit video and music and stuff. Because I would absolutely take this opening scene and put it to Harrenhal's "I Miss You."
Yeah.
And just him standing around grieving. And I know he loved that woman. He could.
Yes, he did.
Like, I know he could be a lot, but he loved Niecy.
Yes, he did. Can you stand the rain? You just need to be out there squalling with rain pouring down.
Just sits down on the throne by himself. Morning.
He was sad,
and that's it for Driftmark. Like we come back there, but it's not a lot that happens there. So this is the most important thing there. Then we go to the Veil. Just gonna go ahead and break the Veil out to its own location because it's really a quick scene. So remember they sent Raina, the youngest daughter, with the kids and the dragon eggs to Lady Jane Eyre of the Veil. The Veil is the one that has the castle called the Eyrie. The Eyrie is the castle that has the moon door, where they execute you by throwing you out the bottom of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And the castle is pretty much impregnable unless it's attacked by a dragon, which is why Rhaenyra thinks this is a safe place to send my kids or whatever. And the Veil is pledging to send some troops and some some soldiers to help in the cause. But Lady Jane was promised a dragon. And she comes in to talk to Raina about it. Raina's barely listening. She's looking out the window, mad that she even got to be there.
Oh, she pouting, boy.
She just want to be on a dragon so bad. And so Lady Jane is like, hey, girl, my castle is impregnable unless attacked by a dragon. I thought your ass supposed to be bringing me some dragons. Y'all want 15,000 troops. And Raina is like, we sent 2 dragons. And Lady Jane's like, stop playing with me, little girl. Them little baby ass dragons, still wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. I meant a grown ass dragon, because they got Vagar, and them little baby dragons ain't finna help shit if he show up. And Raina is like, well, you didn't say what size. And Jane's like, bitch, I'm paying for the food and the rent up in here.
I know you ain't trying to be smart mouthed.
Like I know you didn't come up here with no smart aleck antics, okay? Because we finna have a motherfucking problem if you don't get your shit together. She was not having it.
Who you finna try? I bet it ain't me. Oh, bitch, it ain't me. Caps. Who are you?
Yeah, she was like, you in my care.
Right. And so she says, you know what? Lady Jane says to Raina, I don't appreciate feeling powerless. And they kind of bond for a second because Raina says, neither do I.
Right. I mean, she basically going, what the fuck you think I feel like being sent to you, basically.
Right. And she tells Raina, well, I'll see you at dinner, and I'm sorry for the loss of your grandmama. And so, that's it for this whole location for now. But I guess the word is spread around the realm that Niecy died in battle.
Right, and I do not know if she knew prior to her telling her that or not.
I felt like she knew because there was no reaction shot.
Okay.
And if you're filming a scene like this and you don't cut back to her face to show some level of either emotional distraught or just show the cruelty of Lady Jane by showing that, oh, she did that on purpose to hurt her feelings, but it didn't seem like she was breaking the news. It seemed like she was just saying
condolences.
My condolences.
Like we both know. I just want you to know, you know what? I do feel sorry about your grandmama passing. Right.
Right. So then we get to Harrenhal.
Yes.
We get to Harrenhal.
This nigga for the past 3 weeks.
And
looking over the corner, seeing who creeping.
Damon is actually out in the Riverlands meeting with he has the Blackwoods, specifically Willem Blackwood, right? He has his dragon Caraxes, and he's having to talk to the Brackens, who are the ops. They on the other side. They down with Aegon.
Oh, these names sound alike.
I know. Blackwood, I think they make it that way on purpose. So you'd be like, this shit don't even really matter to the rest of us, which is so funny because we're following a bunch of battles between Rays and Aegons and Aemons and shit, and they names all matter, but the Blackwoods versus the Brackens, we're like, who can tell?
Who gives a fuck about the difference?
But yeah, so he's got the Brackens there, and he's like, y'all need to bend the knee. You see, I got my dragon here. Bend the knee. I'm finna burn y'all niggas up. It's pow, 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 pow. It's that simple to me.
Right, and he was like, I don't care. I never bend my knee. You know they love the word cunt. To that cunt over there, never.
Well, so the Brackens leader is Amos. And once again, these black names. Amos is like,
Don't it? Yeah, good and black.
Amos is like, you know, fuck y'all basically. And Willem Blackwood, who's supposed, you know, he's supposed to be on Damon's side. Damon is doing this for him. He's like instigating. Like, well, I told you they was some bitch ass niggas. Burn them up. Burn their ass up, man. I told you they wasn't gonna be playing.
Shut up at each other's necks, don't they?
Right. He's like, it's nothing but Brackens could be but kindling. Burn their ass to the fucking flames. And the Bracken dude is like, oh, Willem, did your brother's head get to you? Did it spoil when I mailed it back to you after we killed his ass? And then Willem like, see, this is what I'm talking about. They fuck it, they ain't shit. And Damon's like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. Are y'all gonna burn to death or y'all gonna bend the knee? And they just turn their back to him. And
I would rather die.
Yes, they did. And it was a really cool shot of Damon's dragon. Basically, because that's the one with the long neck. It's bend down and you see his big ass head with them walk with them horses. I was like, I guess.
It's one of the funnier comedic quick cuts. Maybe this show will also win Emmys for comedy like The Bear, since it had one joke in the whole episode. But there's a hilarious quick cut from the dragon looking like it's considering burning them to just Damon and Willem sitting on a hill later and Damon being like, I didn't see that coming. And Willem like, you should have burnt their ass up. And Damon's like, I need them to fight, not die.
Yeah, I need bodies. I can't fry everybody.
And Willem's like, now you see what I be talking about? These motherfuckers the worst. Oh, I hate them. I hate these motherfuckers. I hate the way that they walk, the way they talk.
I know. I hate the way they dress.
And Damon was like, man, I need people with that kind of resolve, though. They was willing to die rather than bend the knee.
Right.
Like, I need people like that on my side in the battle that'll do the same thing against Aegon and them.
Right.
Like, if you willing to die by dragon, that's you my type of guy.
Right, because he was like, there's nothing that will fear you and you will fight to the end. Right. I don't have to worry about you running.
Well, most importantly, Aemon's gonna be burning people with dragons.
Yes, he is.
So I need the kind of people that's not running. They like, fuck them dragons.
Yes, fuck you and the dragon you rode on.
So Damon then encourages Willem to do some shady stuff to persuade the Brackens. He
like
doesn't say
open answers.
Yeah, he doesn't say what to do specifically. He just wink, nod. Now you got to remember, he's putting a battery in the back to a guy that legitimately hates the people. Right. So there's no restraint. When he says, you know what I mean, wink, it's stuff the Crown can't be seen doing, but stuff that we need done. Every man got a weakness, blah, blah, blah. And Willem says, oh yeah, I'll show him the worst. And like he got that focused look in his eyes, and I'm like, yeah, it's about to be some
problem.
Some sexual assaults, some kidnappings, some torture. It's about to be all that shit.
Possibly beheadings, yes.
Whatever it is, I don't know about the whole. It's gonna be some shit to be like, until y'all do what Damon and them want y'all to do.
We gonna keep
fucking up y'all lives. Like, we ain't gotta fight on the battlefield. We gonna do a bunch of dishonorable shit. And we don't see the dishonorable shit, but it does come back up. Meanwhile, back in the motherfucking Harrenhal Castle, Damon is having a dream, a sex dream.
Yes.
And he starts having a sex dream with a strange woman. We don't know who this woman is. But you just know it's not really happening. And it's a sexy sex dream. Now, she is a silver-haired woman. And you know they be having them incestual relationships.
Yeah. brother, baby, mama, daddy, husband. Yes.
You know they had those incestual relationships on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And they also, we know Damon has a type, silver hair. Massaria said it in season 1.
She did.
You know, so we know that he got, and we know, obviously he fucked and married his niece and had kids with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, maybe this is a Targaryen woman. Maybe this is supposed to be Rey. Maybe it's a woman we never heard of. Anyway, they having sex and she's telling him everything he need to hear. Damon, you were always the strong one. You the finest swordsman. The fearless dragon rider. Your dick is fucking 12 inches long. Your brother had great love in his heart, but he lacked your constitution. Viserys wasn't suited for the crown, but you, Damon, you was made to wear it. All right, you always beat Miss Pac-Man first 3 levels without dying. If only you had been born first. And while he was doing this, he was going down on her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she said at the end, my favorite son. It was his mama. Mm-hmm. It was his mama, y'all. Oh.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
Oh my God. No, not his mama, y'all. I know there's a lot of cest on this show, but I wasn't ready for it to be his mama.
Oh no! yes, oh, you gotta cut that. That's my response. That was me on the chair Sunday.
No.
No. Mm-mm. No. Hell no. No. I refuse. No.
This man was eating Oedipussy, y'all.
Oh no!
I could. The show's done some wild shit, but eating out your original homeland is just, come on, man. You don't. And when he pulls back, there's blood on her neck, and he sees blood on his hands, and and again, and then there's no blood on his hand. There's blood on her neck from where his hands touched her, but then when he looks at his hands, there's no blood on his hands again. This is fucking weird. And then he's interrupted by Sir Simon Strong, who comes in like just in the bedroom kind of, but not really. And he's just like, is the duck not to your liking, sir? Or, like my prince or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get killed, right?
I forget what he said, but he basically, Damon comes to, he's at the fucking dinner table eating duck. But what? He's eating duck this wasn't a sex dream he had like in the bed, like a wet dream. This was like a waking fucking, I'm sitting here having dinner, sipping on some of this good ass, whatever the fuck Alice put in his cup. And he just zoned out again, came to, and like everyone's staring at him eating bloody duck. And he's like, they're like, oh, what's wrong? You want some goose instead of some duck?
He was like, I don't want to eat. I was like, shit, I wouldn't either.
What's the fucking difference between goose and duck? I don't know.
Raw, when it's raw, who knows the difference?
First of all, this shit need to go back in the fire for like another 10 minutes. I don't know what y'all like y'all duck rare over here? Come on, man. We fucking with rare duck? I need to get a thermometer.
Y'all ain't got no power electricity. I don't get it.
I'm need a thermometer. We getting this thing up to like 165.
With 250, the oven 350, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to die.
Right, like that's too much.
Yeah, it's certain things you don't eat like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need 165 on my thermometer, dog. I'm gonna need
for that duck.
We killing trichinosis or whatever the fuck is up in this shit. Absolutely. I don't know if we've really seen Damon eat much since he been there, and I don't blame him.
Shit, I wouldn't eat nothing.
Alice stares at him while he's tripping balls. He's like, I'm not hungry. And
like, bitch, you got something to do with this.
And because of the Rook's Rest battle, no one is sure which side people will land on. Simon's like, Aegon got fucked up. He might be dead. Niecy died. People kind of waiting to see how this shit shake out. And Damon's like, that's why we need to go ahead and get in formation right the fuck now. Show a sign of strength. I got the Blackwoods out here doing dirt. They gonna bring the Brackens to heal, and then we gonna get the castle renovated. We gonna flip this house.
It's gonna be all pretty up in here. We're gonna paint the walls.
Yeah, we got to get this renovated so it can host a whole army of people, because he's anticipating getting that army together. And Simon like, you sure? And Damon's like, oh yeah, dog, I got some schemes in the work. Like, I ain't tell you about the schemes, but I'm scheming, bro. Just get the fucking wood and stuff. Matter of fact, what's up with the renovations? And Simon's like, well, you know, shit been broke for like 100 years, but say we got the fire started for the renovations that we about to do, which is just the beginning. And also, like, you know, the tower's still fucked up and the hallway is full of shit because Bat's been shitting all over the place. Meat blood dripping in the food. Bat shit in the hallway. What's the sanitation grade? I just need to see.
F.
I need to go to the kitchen. I just need to see. I need to see something before I eat another bite. Before y'all serve me anything else.
I want nothing here.
Damon was like, also, we need to get some blacksmiths and some workers to the castle. We need to get some hunters and farmers to bring us meat and food and wood. And Simon's like, you got meat, food, and wood money?
Right, because you know our budget ain't that big.
This Harrenhal, Lairs took the money. So Lairs transferred all the money to King's Landing. He only left them enough to just run the place barely.
Yep, he sending them a monthly allowance.
I don't even know if he's sending them the money. I just know I imagine a guy like Lairs doesn't send money home. I imagine that they just got enough. He's like, y'all need to make it work. Y'all need to make this work, because I'm never coming back to this piece of shit.
Never. Right.
Damon is like, I thought y'all had the money. And they like, nah, we don't got the money. Damon's like, okay. Simon's like, don't worry, you can get the money from your wife. Damon's like, hell no. I guarantee the money myself. I put it on my credit card.
And the thing is, you ain't trying to fool nobody. Everybody know you ain't talking to your wife, sir. They've been seeing the Raven text unanswered.
And one thing about rich people on this show, they will put something on credit. They put something on their tab. Real. The Lannisters never always pay their debts, and they never did.
No, they did not pay their debts.
Right. I gladly pay you for a hamburger tomorrow if you give it to me today. It's like, what you talking about? So then Damon goes to leave, and Simon calls him Your Grace again, and they have another quibble over, like, Damon's like, don't you mean Yo King? He's like, no, I mean the prince, or whatever the fuck I just said. And he's like, what would you call a person that's the husband of the queen? And Simon's like, the king consort.
Yeah, like that's what I would call him.
And Damon's like, you didn't have to add that last part, you bitch. And then he leaves. He don't like that shit.
No, he was like, that would be the title. Like, he was very confused. Like, hey, I've been reading them books that you've been fucking ignoring. So yeah, that's what you would be called.
Yeah, Karen, but I don't think it's about the proper title. The point is, Damon is trying to he wants to be king in his own right. He wants to be seen as a ruler of the land.
Right.
This play he's making is a play, like, there's a reason he's bristling at this language. It's not a correction of nomenclature. It's actually a correction of deference, meaning I'm going to make you call me the king. Right. Because I want to be called the king. And Simon's like, but you ain't the king. And he's like, motherfucker, do you see anybody else here? Last time I checked, I'm running this shit. Call me what I want to be called.
Right.
So that's why, this shit keeps turning into the same conversation. So then Alice watches Damon try to help do the renovations, fix up this old castle. Since he ain't got shit else to do.
This old castle.
He gotta just wait on the motherfucking the dirt niggas to come back and be like, we doing dirt, So he's like, I might as well chop some axes. He start hearing screams. Well, he chopped the axe.
Right.
Almost like the wood he chopped was screaming at him. And he looked up, he seen Alice watching him from afar. Would she be watching?
Yeah, I think that weird shit she be saying. I think that's what she be. That's what she be. I think that's what she be seeing for real.
I'm starting to think she is making him crazy. I'm starting to think she in on it. Like, it's not
She
just
is.
Harrenhal. I think she like she's psychic or some shit, because she just
She doing
always be
something.
around when he's tripping balls, and then he look up and then she go looking like Lee Trevino and Happy Gilmore.
She knows too much. So yes.
So she fucks with him and says, you shouldn't be doing this work. You a royal. You should be using a sword, not an axe. He's like, well, don't let nobody say I refuse to get my hands dirty in this war. She like, let me look at them hands. And she started wrapping them up because he got calluses on them.
I would not let her touch me.
He already been drinking a drink. We didn't even see him drink the drink. We just know he be drinking the drink. Like, we didn't see him actually decide to take a sip. We just saw the motherfucker finishing a sip somewhere else hours later. So I feel like she got powers.
Yes.
And she says, I heard some strange things. And he's like, oh, some ravens came out. So she like, no. He's like, the newspaper dropped? She like, nah. He's like,
Right.
what they talking about it on Twitter? She like, nah. I be hearing the wind.
And I believe her.
She's like, the people screaming, children being taken from their mothers, wives being kidnapped. I hear it all in the wind. And he's like, war is a terrible thing. She's like, oh, it ain't war. It's war crimes. And any upright man would be like, I ain't down with no war crimes. And Damon's like, well, maybe I ain't an upright man.
Who told you I was an upright man?
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Right.
And then he said, look, maybe the Blackwoods will change the Brackens' minds with these tactics that you keep talking about, And she was like, but if they did bend the knee to you because you had people kidnap their wives and shit, how you ever gonna trust the army like that? They gonna forever fucking hate you.
Yeah, and possibly turn on you because there's no loyalty.
And he said, well, once they my army, I'm gonna treat them right. He's basically nagging them into a relationship.
That ain't how this works. They don't go remember what you did.
And keep remembering, I can't forget that she's the one that told him he was gonna die in Harrenhal. And I can't think of a faster way to die than to recruit an army of motherfuckers that hate you and put them in the same building as you and go to sleep. Drinking drinks that make you black out for hours at a time. Like,
right.
You might want to change your ways.
I would think so.
But he thinks, I think at this point, that this shit can't really be connected to him. And the only reason she knows is because she watches the show and the after show with the producer. She's actually got a season 2 writing credit.
Right.
Because Alice know everything. And so she says, once again, in the name of power is the weak and the women who are forced to endure. She goes to leave, and Damon says, Aegon is probably gonna die, the king. And if Aemon One Eye gets on that throne, it's fitting to be
he's like, it's gonna be a problem.
fucked up. And you should pray that you don't never see him, because he'll fuck you up and cut you down as quick as he could say hi. You don't know what he gonna do. And she's like, well, I heard the same thing about you, but I'll cross you no further. I'm sure your tactics are approved by her wife, the queen. Once again, she know they not.
Right.
She cut deep.
Yeah.
And then he turned around. That's when he finally took the mask off. He said, hey, I ain't doing this for the Queen Rhaenyra. I'm doing this shit for me. I want to be the king. The people of this fucking realm, they want to be ruled by a man with a penis. And I'm going to take King's Landing by myself. And Ray is welcome to join me as a co-ruler, not my ruler. We going to be king and queen. And she said, what's going to happen if you lose? He said, if I lose, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to be dead. So who gives a fuck about that future?
I'm looking like, with what allies? Because if everybody you forced to be with you is mad and angry, do not expect future generations to be like, cool, when they be like, you killed my grandpa.
This is what happens, because all the men on the show worship Aegon the Conqueror or whatever. And so they all just kind of see that idea of like, you just fuck people up until they just don't have a choice but to do what you tell them to do. And clearly that makes enemies and keeps shit going. But so she says, it's a pity, don't you think, that you never knew your mother? I'm like, does she know about the sex dream?
I bet she does.
You think, is she sending him the dreams? How the fuck does she know this shit?
That or either
how does she know he don't know his mama?
That or either she can see his dreams, you know, like she's somewhere in there where she can actually see what's happening. And also it'd be one of them things where possibility she just know lineage and all that stuff, or hey, you don't know who your mama is.
I mean, I guess it's not a secret when queens die and stuff, because they're like most famous people in the land and shit. But yeah, I don't know, there's something to it that
it's more to her than what she's telling him.
Yeah, it's like she fucking is watching the show and then he walks in the room and she like, remember in the last scene when you fucked your mama? It's like, whoa, calm down, lady.
You was in the room.
But Sir Simon interrupts and says, I got breaking news. Right in the
middle of that conversation.
Right. He's like,
yeah. Every time he show up, it's fucking breaking news, ain't it?
Right. Yeah, he's all, but is it breaking news is that Damon's in a motherfucking stupor every day.
Yes, he is.
And everything feel like breaking news when you're fucking passed out 97% of the time in the castle.
And you don't remember half the conversations you having. Yes.
He's like, breaking news. This just in. We have reports from the Riverlands. The Brackens have officially declared their banners for Daemon Targaryen. Daemon, you did it. Would you like to give a statement on it? And Daemon just raises his axe to him like, I told you.
Yeah, went back to chopping wood.
Told y'all. Nah, he walked off. He didn't chop wood.
That's right. He walked off.
He said, I told y'all. And then he was like, go ahead and get them up here. Get Willem Blackwood up here so I can tell him he did a good job. And then he goes back to his room and he lays on his bed and sleep just isn't coming to him, y'all.
Sleep isn't coming. Nope.
We get a cool camera angle of the camera like spinning as he's laying in the bed as if the inside of him is spinning and restless.
Yes, we all was spinning.
We see that door with the bottom of it. You can kind of see out the bottom.
That door that didn't finish.
And we hear ghostly sounds. And then we hear Sir Simon bang on the door. And he's like, the River Lords is here and they want to talk to you. He's like, what fucking time is it? And he said, the hour of the wolf. I looked it up. That's 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, because I was like, the hour of the wolf. What the fuck is the hour of the wolf?
And Daemon is in such a weird state. Is this even happening?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What's real? So he's like, man, what the fuck they want at 3 a.m? He goes to the main hall and there's a bunch of River Lords in there. And he's like, y'all motherfuckers must forgot I got a dragon and that I'm the king. Why the fuck are y'all like bothering me at this time in the night? Who the fuck is this paging me,
in the morning?
And so they were like, we got some complaints. We like to speak to the manager. You the manager.
Right.
They done burnt up the churches. They done fucked up the fields and the farms. The livestock done been sold and stolen. The women and the children are subject to barbarities.
Yep, that's what happened when he told him, you got it. He was like, yep, I got it.
And even though he had told Willem to do this stuff without like tying it back to the crown, apparently Willem was doing it with fucking Targaryen banners and shit. The black and the red dragon, like, yeah, we down with Daemon. We doing this for Daemon. We kidnapping y'all kids for Daemon. And then he sees a vision of his dead wife Lena again, who's like, it's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Who gonna take care of our girls? And one of the River Lords was like, yeah, I should have known not to fuck with you because you killed that little baby in the castle. You killed baby Jaehaerys. And he was like, that's that's a lie. And I have the man who said it brought before me. But he said it real weak, just like that. It wasn't the normal Damon that we get. Like, he wasn't even, it was like he was admitting to it almost. It's how weak the defense was. Like, it's a lie. And then they was like, the dude was like, bring the man before you, nigga. It's half the kingdom. And he said, it's half the kingdom, my prince. He put that prince on it to let the extra disrespect. Like, you ain't no king, you ain't no whatever the fuck. I'm calling you the prince again. And he says, Damon, another woman comes up and said to Damon, you know, the guys, the old ones and the new, they love the Riverland. They watching you. They watching everything you do. And we will not raise our banners for a tyrant. And he put his head to his forehead. He put his hand in his forehead like, I'm feeling weak. I need to sit down. I do declare. And he steadies himself against the fireplace, and he just looks so weak. Now, what do you think about the general cucking of Damon? Like, what has happened with Damon that has made him from, I think, what many people would consider like a very strong character, a guy we saw risk his life in battle with his dragon to draw everybody out on that beach and kill. Like, what do you think about his character arc at this moment?
I think particularly this season over the past few episodes, I think whatever going on at Harrenhal is his subconscious coming to the surface. Because I think this shit has probably been turmoiling within him for a while, but he's been able to suppress it and just walk past it and glide past it. I think him falling out with his wife mattered. I think her being like, hey, dog, like, I got picked. It is what it is. You still wanting it, and don't act like, and I tried to ignore it, but I could see that you want this crown. Then he choked her. And it's one of those things where everything about him is getting challenged and he's not dealing with it well. I honestly think that's why he stormed off and left. Because before, I think he would have stayed. He wouldn't even have left. Because they fell out before and he stayed and shit like this. But he basically pouted, got on his dragon and flew away. And ain't responded or nothing like that since. So I really do think this shit is fucking with him. I also think that him at the Scooby-Doo house is actually getting to him because, like you say, he's not resting. Everything is delusional. It's hard for him to tell what's real and what's not. And, I think that a lot of this shit is just really getting to him.
I think also he's being destabilized by this destabilization of the realm is fucking with him because he backed down off of Viserys because Viserys said, I'm not picking you to be the king. I'm going with Rhaenyra. And he left with his wife and said, fuck it. Me and Lena, we're going to go do our own thing.
And he did. And
we going to Pentos.
That was a piece of time where he was actually literally not trying to at peace because he thought it was no chance.
Right. And now the destabilization where it's like, wait, why am I fighting for Rhaenyra? I should be fighting for me. None of this shit would have happened if he just picked me. And I think there's another element to this. I was talking to Ray Sani about this. There's another element here. I think the reason that he sees Aemon in his vision last week and saw himself as Aemon with the eye patch and all that stuff, and the reason that his plan to kill Aemon with the dog, with the cheese and blood or whatever, I think Damon, in addition to Harrenhal, of course, really laying naked the characters' like inner workings, he sees a fully actualized version of himself in Aemon.
Yes,
he sees that boy as who he should be because Aemon would never let the love of his brother stop him from taking the throne. And the thing that stopped Daemon from taking the throne, Daemon, whose name is also spelled with the same letters as Aemon, the thing that stopped Daemon is that at the end of the day, he does love Viserys.
Yeah, he loved it.
And he couldn't see himself, doing what quote unquote needed to be done to be like, nah, I'm fucking taking the line of succession.
Yeah, he loved his brother very much.
And and so I think Damon sees that as weakness, because what's holding him back now? He loves Rhaenyra. He may not, and I think love to Damon represents control over him. And that's why his dreams have so much resentment towards Rhaenyra, where he's cutting off her head, and even as he sees her as a little girl, because in his inner workings, a little girl is controlling him. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what we're seeing a lot of Damon. And then the last thing I'll say for this Harrenhal section, I don't know how much people have noticed, but I love the way that a lot of the weather mirrors what Damon's going through. Like, it's not always raining. I thought the thing was it was going to always be raining. But there's times when things seem to be going a little bit better, and it's bright out and it's light.
Sunny.
You know, when he's chopping at wood, it's nice out. You know,
it is following
the
his
castle's
mood.
starting to get a little bit more in repairs. He's trying to get his shit together. But then there's these nights, like this night, where it's dark and gloomy, and you know, where, you know, the nights where it's raining straight through the roof or whatever. It, like, there's something about this place that is just laying him bare. And yeah, so I love that. That's it for Harrenhal for me, though. So let's get into the next section. Let's go to King's Landing. All right. So first of all, we see, I believe her name is Kat, who is the wife of the blacksmith Hugh Hammer, shopping for fruit in the town square, and the fruit looked like the A&P produce section.
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'm talking about the mold on the oranges.
Because you got to remember, Team Black basically made it where nothing could go through and nothing could come out. So they wouldn't get any fresh fruits, like nothing was flowing into the cities.
Everything in there looks like it smelled like fish.
Yes, everything smelled like rotten something.
Like oranges look like they smell like fish. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, you want an apple? You're gonna have to boil it when you get home, because it's gonna smell like fish.
Yes, it's gonna smell like fish.
And people is fighting over bread and soup.
And all it was moldy.
Yeah, it's a real. Everyone's down bad.
People are starving.
You know? Yeah, it's the only thing missing from this was Inner City Blues by Marvin Gaye. It was giving that. The people in King's Landing, they having a time.
Yeah, they were having a hard time.
Like, oh my goodness, made me want to holler. Okay,
right? No, I don't want none of this.
So then, BBL, Chrissy, and the soldiers come through, marching through the streets with the head of Melise, Nisi's dragon, on a cart.
That was a bad idea.
They're giving Aegon all the credit. They're like, yeah, King Aegon killed the dragon. Shout out to the big one. He did his big one last week, y'all.
King. Ooh, ooh.
King in the house. Where's the king? Don't ask no questions. But the king did this. He fucked this dragon up. But nobody in the streets was feeling this.
It was like the people didn't know how to respond. People got scared. People was like, should I bow? Should I look away? We don't know what to do. You know, for a lot of them, probably the first time actually seeing the fucking dragon.
Well, I actually think it wasn't even, they were disgusted. They were upset. Like, it wasn't oh man, what do we do? It was what the fuck are y'all doing? This is a bad omen. You killed a fucking dragon. You disrespected a dragon. Keep in mind, we thought these motherfuckers was like mystical, magical, godlike creatures, and y'all have reduced them to just like, you know, animals that get killed in war. And it looked like it stank.
Yes.
You know?
And the shit was still smoking.
I'll say this about King's Landing. Anytime times is hard in King's Landing, it looked like it stank in there.
It do, don't it?
That's one thing about King's Landing, dog. Anytime, even on the other show, Game of Thrones, it always looked like when it's a struggle, it's stank in them streets. And then BBL Chrissy, like, talking to Gwen, he like, don't they realize we won the battle? And Gwen says, strange victory, if it was one.
And not that funny. Otto would have never allowed this.
Yep, you took that was the next thing I wrote down was Otto would have known not to parade the dragon head through the streets.
Right, because Otto has been around long enough to know that the people think it's a bad omen. Like he would have known, even though he was in the council, he did kind of know what was going on through the street. Mm-hmm. And so, all these fears and myths and legends and shit that the people have about the dragons, this is shit that Otto's probably been hearing for decades. A lot of them don't know because, like you said, it's something about being in that council that keeps them motherfuckers shielded from, the reality of what's happening in the rest of the kingdom. And it's a disconnect between the people in the council and the outsiders. And so, it's one of those things where doing this shit is stupid, just like hanging the rat catchers was stupid, because you think it's raw, yay, and the people are like, the fuck is this?
There's only two people that really seem to know what the streets is talking about. And one of them was Otto.
Yes.
And he's gone. And the other one is Masaria.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, they don't keep an ear to the streets. So Otto would have known how to play the shit. He knew the rat catcher shit wasn't gonna play well. But yeah, and I also love Gwen's strange victory if it was one. Because I think us watching the TV show mostly see Team Black as the protagonist. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not arguing. But because of that, most of us feel like last week was a loss. They lost Rook's rest or Rook's whatever it is. They lost Rook's whatever, and they lost Niecy and her dragon. So to us, we be like, fuck, they down bad. But if you were rooting for Team Green somehow, the Greens did lose their fucking king, which was like their big chess piece. The baby Jaehaerys is dead. They have that line of succession that went through that king is done.
Yes.
So it's like I can see how you leave that battle and like, did we win? I mean, the people don't got a king right now, or he's fucked up.
Yeah, and also it shows that BBL Chrissy, for him to be the hand of the king, he actually doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to be not trying to find a representative for the king,
yeah.
And it's one of those things where you would have never allowed this.
He doesn't think about how stuff will play with the people. I just imagine that somewhere Otto is reading the newspaper.
Oh my God, this is what's wrong with today. The young ladies today, they're not learning from mom how to cook. We're losing recipes.
I just imagine that's him feeling like we're all losing recipes, everybody. Then we see an ominous box covered in cloth on a cart. We see that blacksmith dude, Hugh Hammer, who, like, some kid is like, I thought them dragons was gods. And then Hugh Hammer's like, them dragons is just meat.
Yeah, and I know this might sound crazy. My understand is like, nigga, we starving, and y'all are basically dragging meat through the market.
I don't think that, because it had flies all around it. So I don't think it was we could have ate that dragon. I don't think they was thinking that at all. I think these are mythical, magical creatures. And so I don't think the thought of like cooking a dragon was even close to their minds. And I imagine it was rancid after being like taken all the way from Rook's Rest, marched back to, like, at this point.
Yeah, the sun
it
done
stinks.
hit it. Yeah.
Like, you can't eat that shit. But the point being, they're not magical. The magic is gone. And that is damning to the Targaryen bloodline and everything, because part of the reverence for that bloodline is that they ride dragons. Now it's like, not that it wouldn't be like a badass thing to do, but it's like, if you told me they're bear riders, it's a little less mystical, because I'm like, I know what a fucking bear does.
yes,
It's a fucking bear.
It's a bear.
It's a bear. You see them sometimes. Dragons, it's just like, this is magical, mythical dragons. Until you kill one and drag his head through the street, now it's just a piece of meat. And you're like, a dragon die like anything else. Fuck it.
True.
So then, and obviously these people have lived through a time of peace, so they didn't see the wars and the dragon fights and all this shit before. So to them, this is like, they probably their first time seeing a fucking dragon dead.
Yep, that's what I said. This is, for a lot of them, this is the closest they've ever been to one.
Meanwhile, you got the cart that's an ominous box covered in cloth. Mm-hmm. Then you see the rat catcher still swinging in the wind. I know it smells crazy up in there.
Yes, it does, y'all. They've been hanging there 3 weeks.
And then on the castle wall at the top, we see Allison and Amon looking over the city at the procession. She stares at the box that Aegon is in, covered up so that people can't know that the king got burnt and is barely clinging to life. Mm-hmm. The other thing about him in that box too, I was thinking, is he's not screaming. He's not making any sounds. He's fucked up. Like, he's so fucked up. His body just went into like, all we trying to do is breathe.
Yeah, that's it.
So then Amon doesn't react to any of this stuff, but she looks at Amon and sees he's wearing the dagger.
Amon, when you said Amon, you meant
no, Amon's the one with the eye patch, and he's standing next to her.
Yeah, but you say Amon. Oh, okay, but you didn't say her name. You just said
Allison.
Yes, Allison.
Allison. She looks at Amon.
Yes,
because they're standing on top of the castle wall together.
Correct.
Okay. She looks at Amon and sees he's wearing the dagger that his brother Aegon had.
Yes.
Which she knows he wouldn't have gave it to him.
Nope.
So she knows he's either near death or presumed dead, because why the fuck would his brother have his fucking dagger on? Mm-hmm. And once again, like I said, Amon doesn't react to any of this shit. We see soldiers gently carry Aegon's box to Aegon's room, and Helena looks at it, shows no reaction, which makes me think about when he walked past her after their baby was killed, and they didn't have any reaction. There's no real love between them, and of course,
no, it's not.
She just is not. She doesn't express emotions in a way.
She just
like
lost
that.
a child.
Well, not just that she just lost a child, but she didn't. We never saw her even grieve for the child. She said,
No.
why would I grieve? You know what I mean? She don't express emotions in a natural way.
Agreed.
So then, they take his sword out the box, and then they lift him out the box. They put him onto his bed. Allison watches all of this stuff. We finally see Aegon's charred body as Master Orwell, Lord DEI, works on him.
He don't put on his surgeon uniform.
He put on his doctor's clothes because shit is real. Mm-hmm. And that's right, he's the only one with 2 jobs on that motherfucking council. Because regardless of the realm, regardless of fantasy, black people got to be twice as good to get half as much. They don't even listen to this man at that goddamn table.
They disrespect him.
And he's a full ass doctor. Any of them get sick, they gonna ask this man for the cure.
Full ass doctor. This nigga be delivering babies, stitching.
Meanwhile, they ask this man anything. He bring up any suggestion. They be like, "Shut the fuck up, nigga." That is what the fuck he got to deal with.
Right.
So he doctoring and shit. And Allison is like, "Is he alive?" And Lord DEI is like, "Sure." And then it made me think how her last thing she told Aegon was, "You know what you need to do? Nothing."
Yep, I was like, them words can't you bite her in the ass.
That's by her, by him.
I mean, yeah, bite.
He should have did nothing.
Yes, he should have did nothing, but it makes her feel bad for telling him that, which actually charged him.
But
to
she
do
was
something.
right.
She was right. But
I don't think she should feel bad.
But he was stupid.
She gave him some real talk.
Yes, she did.
It's not her fault at all. She should not feel guilty.
But she still gonna feel bad because she gonna think that her talking to him like this led him to do that stupid shit.
Okay, all right. Well, Allison asked. So then the Meisters start working over him, and they start removing his armor from his body. Woo! Y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, because, you got to remember, his brother put a whole ass fire-breathing dragon flames directly into him with that fucking metal uniform.
Well, he's wearing Valyrian armor, so it won't melt into his skin. But that don't mean your skin won't melt around the armor.
That's true.
Your skin ain't Valyrian, my guy. And we know that they got higher tolerance, it seems, for fire, but they not fireproof. So I guess they not dragon flame fireproof, because they was peeling his ass off like he was a seafood boil.
They were like one layer at a time.
This scene took so long the whole time.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Get exterminated!
shout out to the actors in this scene, because the actor that played Lord DEI, they pull the armor off, blood comes out a little bit, and he does this quick covering of his nose and mouth that I thought was so, because you got, in real life nothing stinks, they're all acting, but yes,
that would stink.
You would be like, oh God, the stench. They done taken as long as they have taken to get that decrepit dragon head here, is how long it took to get Aegon's.
He was on a fucking road trip in a wooden ass, hot ass box,
right,
with steel, and your flesh is glued to that bullshit.
And then you see like the silent sisters in the corner, and they look concerned but also ready in case they gotta handle a dead body, because only the silent sisters can handle the dead bodies of royalty. So when Allison looks at them, it's really also a sign of, it's like watching the Grim Reaper in the room. Mm-hmm. And then she looks back to Lord DEI. She's like, is he going to die? And
Lord D, I looked at her like, bitch, you need to get out the room. I told you the first time, I don't know. We're doing everything we can. Why is she in an emergency room?
He gonna die if you keep asking questions and I can't concentrate.
I'm trying to do my job. Stop asking me these dumbass questions.
Then we see two of the assistant maesters straight up reconnect his knee together like a Lego block.
Yes, they did. I was like, oh, because like you seen it, but then you was like, not only did he get burnt, he fell hundreds of feet to the ground and then turned around and burst in flames again. Right?
Oh my God. And it's medieval medicine.
Medieval.
Fam, it's not enough leeches or milk of the poppy in the goddamn world for this.
Nigga, they is taking lettuce like you do for lettuce wrapping. We like, we gonna wrap this nigga up in this. I'm like, bitch, what you gonna do with this lettuce?
It was lettuce in there. Dog.
We're not making salad?
Lettuce me die.
Come on, what is this?
What are we doing? There's nothing to say here. Just kill me. Oh my God, I was absolutely disgusted by what was happening up in here.
I am disgusted.
Yes. Oh my God. It was I
am disgusted.
And so Aemon walks in, calmly surveys his work.
This nigga don't give a damn.
Right. He walked in like Tupac and Juice.
You're crazy, man. You know what? When you said that last time, I was kind of tripping, right? But now, you're right. I am crazy.
And he just kind of leans on the bed, like looking at everything, as Aegon looking half burnt up like Two-Face. And he's like, someone will have to rule in his stead. That calmly. That like obviously he's had time to think about this on this dragon flight back or whatever the fuck. But he's like,
no, he did.
Yeah, clearly somebody gonna have to run this shit, and it's gonna have to be me. Mm-hmm. And so Allison leaves the room. She can't take it. She goes in the BBL Chrissy room, who's seasoning his sword with lemon and salt for some reason. I guess that's how they did it back in the day. Mm-hmm. And so she walks in on him and is like, what happened? And he don't really want to say what happened.
Because some of them he was knocked out.
Right? She's like, what happened?
Where? Like when you went start call like you got.
And he's like, shit is wild out here. I can't really say what had happened. I tell you what happened. We lost 900 men and we took that castle.
That's
and I left
a lot of people.
She's like, and what else? He's like, and I left some men behind to protect the castle. Sunfire, the dragon, took too long to die, so we ain't bring him back. So it's over there chilling. And Allison like, no, Nick, what happened with Aegon and Aemon? Like, how my son get fucked up? And Chrissy didn't want to go into details. He's like, I can't say.
I'm open to the conversation. I think it, it really is something that, I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah.
Now, Chrissy did get knocked out. I think he was awake for the initial burning of Aegon, because he did go, my king, and like try to get to him, but then he got knocked out before he could get over there and came back too. But maybe he got a little CTE. You know, maybe the post-concussion protocol, maybe they missed some things and he don't remember everything. Or more than likely, going by TV logic, meaning if the character was awake, they always remember regardless of the concussion. Maybe he just don't see any benefit in telling her what fucking happened. Right. What good can come of him being like, it was Aegon that did it? First of all, Aegon finna be the fucking king. Aegon has a dragon. Aegon can fight. He's crazy as hell. And we've been staying up at night playing motherfucking Dungeons and Dragons, plotting on how we would run the war. It's no fucking reason for him to turn on Aegon at this moment.
Right. And he's handed the king, and he's not going to be handed Aegon. Right. So it's like, the fuck I do look like losing my job.
And unlike Alicent, he done seen some shit.
Yes!
He done been out there.
Right.
Yeah, he been out there, so he just like, nah. Aemon one of them ones, and I don't want to be on his fucking bad side.
Right, and it's also one of them things where he looking like, hey dog, you ain't built for this. Like, if I tell you this, I got to deal. Not trying to fun, I got to deal with you going through this emotional ass roller coaster, and I'm not trying to deal with that right now.
Right. And she's a woman in deep denial, but she does know her children. So deep down in her bones, she knows what Aemon did. Mm-hmm. That's why
she know he did something.
She know he did some shit. He's a monster, and he came back way too calm about the shit, which is so funny. If we go back to last season when he lost his eye and the way she wanted to like use that dagger to cut Ray's hair,
she acted a motherfucking fool,
and all this shit. Your son's a fucking monster.
Yes.
Now he's your monster, but he's still a fucking monster, and now you done raised a goddamn monster.
Raised a lunatic.
Yeah, I can't believe this monster went monster. So then Alicent gets the injury report from Lord DEI. She's like, so what happened with Aegon? And it's like, looks like Aegon's gonna be laid up 6 to 8 decades with broken bones, internal bleeding, and 12th degree burns all over his body. So if you have him on your fantasy team, you might want to hit the waiver wire, swap him out. His brother Aemon is available to play king
right.
as his backup, so you might want to look into that. Maybe some long shots with that with Alicent, but I wouldn't pick her.
I wouldn't pick him.
Feel like it's a waste of a pick.
Yeah, leave her on the waiver wire.
And she's like, well, when are you gonna wake up? Lord D.I.'s like, wake up.
Shit, we barely keeping him breathing. You know we're using ingredients for a salad on his body. Bitch, right. What you think this is?
Child, wake up. I don't know. We just trying to keep him from taking the long sleep. And Aemon, they're because this is at the small council. He's sitting at his end of the table with a little smirk on his face. And Alicent's like, well, we need to name a regent. The title of this episode is Regent. We need to name a regent to take his place until he recovers. And Larys is like, that's a good idea, Alicent. You right. And Alicent was like, well, obviously, and Larys like, you got any suggestions? She was like, yeah, me.
And ain't nobody in the room going for that. They was like, no, bitch.
Well, her whole thing was like, and she had a good case. I ruled in Viserys' stead for years when he was laid up and infirmed, and we needed somebody to be the queen. And I was the fucking queen, even though we knew that he was, he was the king, but I was the one running shit. And everybody, all the men in the room, which is everyone else, look around at each other like... I know this bitch ain't talking. Because number one, I remember how she undermined Rhaenyra at the meetings.
Yes, she did.
Didn't she?
Yes, when she came in there pregnant and she embarrassed her because her nipples started leaking during the meeting when she was literally making a valid ass point.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
And so like Iron Rod's like, yeah, you was the queen, but that was during the peace times. It's war times. We got to go with Amon. And Allison, like, he too young, and his lack of restraint already done fucked everything up. And everybody was looking at each other, but not her. And Lord DEI, he tried to have her back. But what did I tell y'all? Don't nobody listen to what he's saying. No one cares what this man has to say whenever he speaks up or whatever. As soon as he started talking.
Do we have a house nigger in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we? Hey, yeah, do we?
That's every time. every suggestion that come out this man's mouth.
They ignore the shit out of it, don't they? He the person out here saving lives.
Cause he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good point. She was a good queen. And everybody's like, shut your black ass up. No. And Iron Rod is just like, fuck it, I'll say it. She a woman. She can't be the fucking king. And Allison got offended. She's like, I got the experience from ruling. And Amon, he could be like our general in the battlefield. He a dog. That's what he should be with that dragon. Right, Laris? And Laris is like, I haven't seen them feats in a long time. It's Amon. It's got to be Amon. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole point of our administration is that we decided that vagina lips somehow stop people from being good rulers.
That's how your son got the throne.
Only a dick can be a good ruler. So,
and that's what got the kingdom divided up right now.
If we put a woman on the motherfucking throne after we done started all this shit,
it's gonna be a problem.
Motherfuckers we gonna lose everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, but BBL Chrissy, what you think? You the hand of the king. You speak for the king. And BBL Chrissy like, yeah, he right. It's got to be Aegon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't have a choice. Now, the thing is, Alicent's version of events and what they told the world is, well, it's not about it being a boy or a girl. Viserys just changed his mind on his deathbed the night that he died. And it's not that he picked a boy as much as he decided his heir should be Aegon. That's it. But the realm only accepted that because they were misogynistic. And they were like, it should have always been a boy. Fuck it. Yeah, the king changed his mind. Whatever. It should be a man. So they can't afford to lose this kind of support in the middle of this precarious, time. So then Chrissy supports Amon. Looks like the late night strategy session, staying up, burning the midnight fuel, has paid off. They've bonded. Amon, this actor
his motherfucking ass off, didn't he?
The camera work, everything.
He said very few words, but when they showed his face, you was like, woo.
The way he gets up from his chair,
because he didn't say a word the whole they having this conversation all around him, and he said nothing
because he knew what it had to be. That's why he burned his brother. The way he immediately takes over the meeting, grabs his little brother's or his older brother's fidget spinner.
Look that way he looks
sits in the king's chair. The close up of his face and that smirk as he grabs the ball, and he's like, "All right, well, give me a progress report." And they start. I'm gonna give you the progress report first before I get to the main part of the story. But the first they go over Daemon. Daemon ain't really got a chance to fill in the army because Lord Tully has the Riverlands in disarray. So Larys is like, well, we need to go work with the young Lord Tully, the grandson that we met last week, because the granddad gonna be dead soon, and we should get the loyalty from the grandson. And then Aemon countermands all this shit and goes, we need to go get Harrenhal with that army that the Lannister brother Jason is accruing. Go get Harrenhal. Y'all, I'm supposed to trust this board of people who left a jewel like Harrenhal just sitting out there for our enemies to get. Now, what is interesting about that is last week he mocked Aegon for wanting Harrenhal and did the Rook's Rest trick with the dragon to trick them into sending out Malice. So a week ago he used this to make Aegon seem weak. This week he's like, we need to go get Harrenhal. Ain't this a bitch? Butt Boy is a motherfucking chess master.
He's a planner. I think that was part of the plan the whole time.
He is one of those goddamn ones, man.
He's a plotter, and he sees the whole board.
He's scary. This is
Yes,
how I
he
like
is.
my antagonist.
He's very strategic. He don't do shit just because.
I don't like the antagonists like Aegon or Joffrey. I kind of, if I'm gonna have an antagonist, let it be Ramsay.
Yeah.
Just competent, but also earning every ounce of my hate.
Yes, very scary.
And just a person that is main character in their own story. So
Yes.
So Master DEI says, well, we need to do something about the small folks. They trying to flee the city due to the sky high inflation and the mold, and it's starting to spread bad vibes around the realm. If they get out, they gonna let everybody know it's not good up in here. And Amon's like, then lock the gates. Ain't nobody getting in or getting out.
Lock the motherfucking gates.
And he stands up, he's like, good meeting, and cut down the fucking rat catchers.
And when he said that, I was like, yes, why are they still up? Yes.
One of them ones.
I was like, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how they get out of this. This motherfucker is in his bag already. He ran that meeting. He was out of that meeting in 5 minutes. Aegon would have been in there fidgeting, talking about, y'all bore me. I
Boring.
want to play with my Game Boy. Like, shut the fuck up. But the true gem of this scene is not any of the stuff I just said. It is the camera person and Olivia motherfucking Cook, because she was cooking with this acting where she didn't say a word, but they slowly zoomed in on her face and the voices get muffled in the background.
I was like, oh, she is zoning
and she
out.
tries her best not to cry.
Yes, because they shut her shit down.
Or express the rage and ineptitude that she is feeling, and she is foisted upon her own petard, because this is a box that she is stuck in, that she chose. And
yes, she did.
It echoes the words from last season, episode 9, the penultimate episode, when her and Niecy had got into that fight because they had trapped Niecy in there, and it was like, Allison was like, I'm gonna get her to bend the knee and declare for House Green. And she went into her bedroom and was like, girl, you need to get down with us. And Niecy saw through everything she said, and I went and found the exact words that stuck out to me. It was when Allison was trying to be like, woman power, you should have been the queen, and while telling her that Rhaenyra shouldn't be queen. But she was like, yet you still toil in the service of men. Meaning all this shit you talking about with feminism, all you doing is empowering these men, you 53% ass bitch. And then she said, you desire not to be free, but to make a window in the wall of your prison. Have you ever imagined yourself on the Iron Throne? And I said, yeah, she did today. Because Viserys, when she was Viserys' proxy, I don't think she ever saw herself as, I'm taking the throne. Mm-mm. I really do. I think that was good writing in season 1. But today, after everything she's seen, the war, the power, the death, the conversation she had with Rhaenyra, today she imagined herself as ruler, because she thought, I need to be a ruler to get this shit back in line. And they went, ma'am, you are toiling in the service of the men at this goddamn table. Shut the fuck up. We don't do it.
Yeah, and it boils down to when Rhaenyra went to go visit her. That was a pivotal moment, because Rhaenyra was like, hey, dog, like, we actually need to get this under control. And she basically looked at her, because she had gave up, basically. And when you give up like this is the result of you giving up. You literally having no control of what's happening.
I think Aegon getting infirmed made her feel like this was her chance. After she had given up, she thought, oh wait, this is the chance to do what me and Rhaenyra are talking about. If I can somehow ascend to the throne right now, maybe I can stop this war. And I think, no, it's too fucking late. You were actually right when you gave up. It ain't about you no more.
Right, and I think her giving up, this is the result of her looking Rhaenyra in the face and say, well, the men gonna do what they gonna do. Well, guess what? They did this to you, and now you want to get angry about it, but this is the choice you made the moment you gave up, the moment you allow certain things to happen.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was, oof.
Yeah, because her face, boy. And like I said, it was beautiful, just the way everybody around them, their voices just muffled out. And you go, oh, we're centering her brain right now.
But the thing that's so interesting about this character is we watched her basically be a little girl dealing with the machinations of men her entire life. Mm-hmm. Her father, basically pushing her off to Viserys,
right,
so that he could gain some level of power and control. And then Viserys dying essentially after she laid under his decrepit ass for years, birthing children with really no choice in the matter.
Right.
And then she finally, I think she saw it in front of her face, this is my chance to truly gain a seat of power. And it was like, are you crazy? You absolutely can't do it. That's the only thing we can't do is put a woman in charge. And they're right.
Right, because, you want your son to be the king. He's a man. And that for a lot of them, they was like, that's the only reason why we supported your cause.
Yeah.
So you can't turn around us and say, you want to be it now. We're going to go, no.
In the slums, we see Kat and Hugh. That's the Hugh Hammer is the blacksmith and his wife is Kat. Mm-hmm. And they talking while they're nursing their sickly daughter. And she's like, listen, it's bad out here.
It's bad in these streets, dog.
Okay. It's a struggle. I went to the market today and it was the inner city blues out this bitch.
It was not good.
Yeah, and she's like,
living just enough
right,
for the city.
Yeah, she's like, we have to get out of here.
She was like, you ain't been outside. Ooh, child, the ghetto.
Right. She's like, we need to get the fuck out of here because it's bad out there. Ain't nobody got nothing to eat. Motherfuckers is stealing from each other. Mm-hmm. Our neighbors not taking care of each other anymore. And he's like, where will we even go? She's like, anywhere that's not here. And he was like, well, shit, she's like, they marching dragons through the fucking street. And Rhaenyra's not gonna take that land down. She gonna come through and fucking crush the buildings like Snoop Dogg. Let's go to Tumbleton. That's where my brother lived. But he was too prideful to do it. He's like, what, and be a beggar? And she was like, we begging right now.
Right, what's the difference?
She like, we broke and the king ain't paying us. What are you if not a beggar? You went to the court and said, can I get my money? And she's like, by all means, stay here and wait for his empty promises, husband. With them, you can feed the mouth of ghosts. And then he was like, damn.
Right.
She right. So we see outside they finally cut down the rat catchers and Cheese's dog has been waiting there the entire time.
3 whole weeks just sitting there watching the body.
And it follows the body to the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
And then Allison goes out and visits BBL Chrissy because he's overseeing the bodies get cut down. And she's pissed about him backing Aemon and not her. And she's like, so you just Aemon little bitch, huh? And he says, and she's like, Aemon is a monster. You know what he is. You can't put him in charge. And you only loyal to me when you up in my pussy. That's it. The only time you really fuck with me is when you're fucking me, literally.
And the thing about this, you're gonna go on. I love the actor that played BBL. I love his acting in this scene. Mm. This is some top-notch acting because after she finished this and the way he responds, you like, yeah, I understand where he coming from, dog.
Yeah, Chrissy is basically like, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. I was at Rook's Rest and I seen motherfuckers on fire, people turning into ash, and we did get that scene at the end with him, and it did look like some shit from Saving Private Ryan but with dragons.
Yes.
And it was this moment of realization of like, this is war, because they may have had skirmishes, they may have fought, but they ain't never seen no dragon fire, they ain't never seen no dragons fighting. there's been peace in the realm under Viserys. This is their first time seeing war for real.
Yes!
And he said they got dragons. And I looked at that battlefield and I realized a motherfucker that got a dragon, the only person that should be in charge of this shit. And she said, well, what about justice and temperance? He's like, what about them, bitch? I don't know them. On that motherfucking battlefield, it was just dragons.
Right, and also he made a good point. He was like, it's a war. You want peace. Rhaenyra is not coming with peace. The fuck is this? Like, no, you are not built for this. And we're going to have to make decisions and you're going to be all up in the way, fucking shit up, and you're going to make people angry. No.
So she takes it personal. So you cast me aside? And he's like, no, I've spared you. What we about to do is fucked up. You can't preside over it. Is that who you are? Alicent, not my queen, not Alicent. And she said, I did not ask to be spared, and I did not permit you to speak my name. She pulled rank on him, and then she stormed off.
Did you tell the folks that? You bitch.
And I guess he thinks she'll thank him later. But I do get his point. I feel like in his mind
he was
as a
out there
character,
battlefield dog. He was like, you ain't touch a man and fucking his whole armor just fucking disintegrated because he was goddamn dust.
I think he truly believes he is sparing her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he thinks, oh, I'm gonna get some power. I think he's like, you. And also because of his misogynistic type of views, of course, he's very my fair lady maiden. I want to be a savior, white knight kind of bullshit. You know, that I'm a nice guy TM shit. But he truly does believe it's not her temperament to do what needs to be done, and that what needs to be done is they're gonna have to kill all these people.
Right. You ain't gonna want to send people to war. He was like, you ain't gonna want to do none of this.
We see Hugh and Kat try to leave the city with their daughter in tow and no provisions. That's how fucking stressed they was. They didn't pack shit. He just picked their daughter up in his arms
and walked out the front door.
And they ran to the gate, and the gold closed the city gates and said, by order of Aemon, y'all need to go back to y'all house. Can't nobody leave. Can't nobody come in.
Yeah. Y'all should have left before they told us to close the gate.
Aemon stares at the Iron Throne in the throne room by himself. He turns around. Helena is in there. She asks, was it worth the price? And then we see Aegon on his bed, breathing shakily. Alicent is by his bedside, holding his arm, which I'm like, that's the burnt arm. But she was holding his arm. She caresses his face before leaving. And I couldn't help but think, this is the woman that couldn't reach out to her own child when he lost his son. When Jaehaerys died, and he came and was crying in her room, she like walked the fuck out. Like, all right then.
Yes, she did. And like I said, that decision and the way she talked like that, because of how from what I've been seeing, how this character designed, regardless if it's right or just, she's going to feel bad and guilty about those decisions. And I think she should, because Otto told her, hey dog, like, our job is to guide him and help him, and if you're not there, somebody else will do the job because he's a dumbass. And she did everything else but that.
Yeah, I think also she can't help but be repulsed by the monsters her children are. I mean, right. I think it's that simple. Like, how do you love a monster? One of them's a fucking rapist. The other one is torturing and killing people. Killed his own cousin. Say what you want to about Rhaenyra's kids, they don't do that kind of shit. So I think, how do you deal with that impulse of being repulsed by your own child? But she gets up and leaves, and he hoarsely whispers, "Mommy," under his breath. And so he's still alive and able to communicate. This is definitely getting found out at some point. I'm imagining he getting the pillow over his face.
Child.
Because, I mean...
Just
Aemon, I know Aemon not finna let this ruin his plans. And then the last thing I want to say before we leave this place, how much does his burnt up body must remind her of Viserys.
Yep, a lot. Yep. And I think that's why, even though she was annoying, a lot of it was, hey, dog, I lost one family member. Am I going to lose another family member?
His infirmed state as king, but also unable to rule, is exactly what Viserys' marriage to her was for the last how many years of their marriage. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how much, like, she doesn't even realize how close she is to power in that way. You know, because she didn't get to hear him speak. But if he could speak, she would be somewhere being like, he's alive and he told me I'm to run things in his as regent. So that could really get interesting next week. All right, last thing, Dragonstone.
Yeah, and her son, the other one is crazy. So who knows what he do?
I told you, pillow over the face. I already said what he gonna do. You gotta kill that motherfucker.
I mean, because it's in the one thing, because he's so ruthless that if she would say something that he would contest, he'd be like,
"Oh yeah,
you don't give a fuck."
So Dragonstone, Ray stands outside looking at the sun over the ocean, mourning Niecy's passing. We go to the meeting. Sir Alfred Broom is in there, and he going off again. He is the biggest hater in the group. Now he's loyal to the group.
Oh,
he's down
man.
with the group.
Hate.
But he always got some bad shit to say.
Yeah, he does.
It's really the worst.
You be looking like, wow, you here?
Yeah, I
would like to thank God Almighty for giving everybody so much and me so little. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you.
Get disgusted by a lot of things. I'm very disgusted, to be quite honest with you. I'm just so disgusted.
I can't tell you how disgusted I am.
I'm disgusted with him right now.
I'm so disgusted.
I'm disgusted with it.
I'm so disgusted. I'm so damn disgusted.
I'm just disgusted. Oh, I'm just trying to be cool. But
that's him every meeting. God damn, this man has nothing but problems. And so he's like, the largest dragon dead, BBL Chrissy winning battles, Duskendale and Rook's Rest gone, the Keurig machine out of Espresso. We have no ground army. Damon done left us after a marital spat. And Ray is like, do we have a fucking problem? Like, you got a problem with me? And he's like, nah, I'm 10 toes down. I don't doubt your capability or smarts, but you are a woman. And what do you call those things? Oh, vaginas. How could you know anything about war? And she's like, nigga, there's never been a war that all of us been living in peace. You know as much about war as I do.
Right.
Which is not true, because I'm sure they study war or whatever, but you get the point.
Right. You ain't never been no real battle.
Right. He really does feel like Stephen A. Smith. He's just the biggest fucking hater. Because he's always backing, like, he doesn't fully hate you, always turns around and tries to compliment you at the end, which is a Stephen A. Smith tactic. It's like, I know Rhaenyra very well. You know, I talk to her every day. We send ravens back and forth. And
you know, I love her dragon.
I love her dragon. Syraxis, it's a very good dragon. But however, when it comes to leading the war effort, like, goddamn, bro. So then they sit down at the table, and Ray is like, look, we need to shore up Maidenpool and Crack Claw Point with some weapons, because those are our allies, and you know Cole might try to attack them as well. And they just cut her off and start bickering at the table. Stefan Darkling is like, I think his daddy was the one that was killed last week, so he like, when we gonna get revenge? I want revenge.
Right. I want revenge.
Right. All summer 16.
Right. What is happening here?
Like, we need to answer them for Rook's Rest. And then Baltimore's Celtigar is like, it's too late for all that shit. Vagar tired after that battle. We need to go track that dragon down while it's tired and attack King's Landing. And they like, Aegon might be dead, and if he is, we'll find out soon. And he like, it ain't gonna matter, because they just gonna put somebody else on the throne. They got a lot of penises on that side. And we should just go after King's Landing. And Ray's like, you know what, y'all right, I'm gonna attack King's Landing. I got a dragon. And they like, it can't be you the fucking queen, shut the fuck up, we talking.
Right. And everybody in charge want to run out in the streets. It's like, you can't be in the streets.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's too many people on the council. It's time for some people to start dying. I can't remember all these names. I didn't even write down half these people's names. So I'm like, who the fuck said that? Jace goes. Jace is actually leaving to go to Harrenhal when his wife cousin Bayla asks, like, where you going? And he's like, going to Harrenhal. Got to see what's up with Damon. And she like, why you mad? And he's like, oh, I'm big mad because mama won't let me fight. I'm smart, you know.
Mama keep me locked up in the house.
I want to play outside too.
Won't let me go nowhere. I ain't done nothing. I've been a good kid.
And Bayla's like, Mom, your mama just trying to protect you.
Right.
Okay, look, my mama, aunt / mother / stepmom, she is just trying to protect you because you are next in line for the succession. It's an honor. But he's like, how the fuck is it gonna be an honor if everybody think I'm a bitch because she won't let me fucking do shit? I gotta act like a prince to be respected like one. And it is true. Rhaenyra is doing everything to keep this dude out of battle. She basically got him working in the mail department.
The worst you can get is a paper cut, baby.
So he basically says, I'm going behind my mama's back. Okay? I'm gonna go to the Freys. Now we know the Freys from Game of Thrones because we saw their whole line get wiped out by Arya that time.
Yes, that old dusty ass old weird man.
Yeah, because they did the red wedding to the Starks. So we know what
changed her life forever.
We know what happens to them 200 years later. But right now, I guess these motherfuckers must be cool. I think it's like Cregan Stark or whatever the fuck. So like, I mean not Stark, it's Frey, whatever Frey. And so he's like, I'm gonna go visit the Freys because they have a passageway where the cat daddies who are coming from Winterfell can take a direct route from like the Winterfell area straight into the Riverlands
and not have to go around
if they can get access to this passage, which is actually what Robb Stark was trying to do before he got murked in Game of Thrones. So it's like, okay, cool. She's like, your mama don't gonna want you to do that. And he said, well, she ain't got to fucking know.
If you tell her after I'm gone.
Right. And so then Ray meets with Mysaria after the meeting so they can have a little bitch sesh about the men's. You know, it's like, I gotta complain about the men because they complain about me and they not letting me fight. And Mysaria's like, oh, they some bitch ass niggas. She's like, no, I do the same thing if I was them, but it's hard to be a woman. They ain't teach me nothing about battles and swords, so don't nobody want to listen to me. And then her servant girl, I think it's Elinda, she comes in like, you want dinner? She's like, no, leave me alone. And then Mysaria's like, well, why don't you send Daemon and to burn up King's Landing? And she's like, no, because I'll look weak and he'll have proven his point that he should be the king since he the one that doing all the shit. And Mysaria's like, well, you know, Cole fucked up because he paraded that dragon head through the streets. Now Mysaria know the streets,
right? And she know what the people like Cole and them couldn't hear what the people we saw because of the cameras and all that shit. So we heard, but they didn't.
Well, no, they heard because Gwen said, you know, oh no, because Cole said, don't they know this is a victory? And then Gwen said, was it though? So like Cole did hear them not reacting to that dragon positively.
Yes, not reacting, but it still don't mean he had a fuller understanding of why.
I think, I agree. He doesn't understand why because obviously he wouldn't have done it if he understood why.
Right.
But the point being, she is in fucking Dragonstone and knows. Mysaria got got the ear. She got Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, like she's like here and she was like, he never should have did that. And it was something where she probably didn't even get the raving about that shit. And she's like, girl, I already know.
Yeah, she wasn't guessing. She did know that the streets was talking. And so she was like, look, it's more than one way to win a war. Now everybody down bad in King's Landing. They broke. The food fucked up. They hungry. They mad. It stank. You can start some rumors. You can start a revolt. The people might do the work for you on your behalf. Because if it's one thing she gonna do, is she gonna keep her finger on the pulse of the 99%. Okay? And later we see the servant girl Elinda leave in one of them do dirt hoodies with a night by torchlight. So you know she is probably finna take the midnight train to fucking King's Landing to start some shit.
Ain't she though?
Bayla and Ray meet later and they talk about Niecy dying. Ray says, you know, you remind me of Niecy, and they talk about how Niecy got her dragon and how Damon was mad because it was Damon's mama's dragon and he thought it was coming to him, but Niecy got it. Message: this motherfucking Damon and women getting in the way of what he thinks is destiny is a long story forever. But Bayla says, I wish I had known Niecy when she was young. And Ray is like, you and Niecy very much alike. But because you alike, I need you to do something for me. And she gives her a box and says, I need you to give this to Corliss. We'll come back to that in a second. We get Jace sitting down with the Freys at the Twins, I think is what they call it. And he has his dragon waiting behind him off the bridge, and they sitting down.
Yeah, and then when they sat down, y'all, they sat halfway through the bridge, which means they having a whole ass meal outside. They didn't invite him inside. It was like, nah, we meet you halfway. It
was a flex. I actually thought this was a beautiful scene and everything.
But it was like, enjoy the view out here.
Also, they know they trying not to have any allegiance, so they probably didn't want to look like they were hosting him for real.
Right.
But anyway, they're hesitant to declare for Rhaenyra's side because Lord Tully hasn't, and we know Lord Tully is an old, infirm, about to die man. So how the fuck would he? Like, they're acting like we're not doing it because of Lord Tully, but we know it's not. No one's afraid of Lord Tully. So Jace is like, look, Jason Lannister is marshaling an army to the west. I need to stop him before he reaches River Run. I'm gonna need to use y'all's passage to do that, and I can only do that by using y'all's passage with the cat daddies from the north to come through and fight these motherfuckers before they can get to Harrenhal. And Lord Frey is like, well, what if the cat daddies is too slow getting there? You know, it's cold and they old. They gonna be stopping every time to get like some re-up on their Crown Royal, and do fish fries and
rubbing their knees with Bengay.
Right. You know, the sciatica gonna be acting up. Like, you can't just
we can't be dealing with that.
I can't risk everything for the cat daddies. And the wife is like, look, I'm gonna be real. It ain't even about the cat daddies. It ain't about Damon. It ain't about Harrenhal. It ain't about Lord Tully. It's about Vagar. I'm scared of that big ass dragon. And Jace like, you scared of that big ass dragon way over there when my real ass dragon is sitting 100 yards behind me? I'll burn this bitch down. And she's like, well, are you offering your protection? And he was like, I do. And the protection of Damon. He ain't asked Damon shit. He just said it. They know he just said it. They like, you could promise that for real? And he's like, what do y'all really want? And basically it turns out they want to be the new owners of Harrenhal.
Why? Child, don't nobody want that Scooby-Doo Mystery Mansion.
This shit is like every horror movie where white people move into a haunted house. Why would you want to live there? It's no amount of rent that make sense. Do y'all not know? Anyway, they agree to it.
All the doors are magical and shit. No, thank you.
They agree to it, but Jay says, I'm gonna need more than that then. Y'all can't, we need more than just using the bridge. I'm gonna need y'all to give bit knees.
Yes, for that.
Yeah. Then we get a cool ass Driftmark interlude. Bayla goes to see Corliss. He ain't staying in the castle. He's staying in the like side house because he said he can't do it. And we get some good black ass acting up in here. He says, I can't stay in the castle because it feels like a tomb, haunted and all this shit. And then Bayla talks about how it must have been rocking back in the day when all the lords was visiting. You was the king of the tides and everybody was on your dick, and then you left and you was getting riches and coming back left and right. Everybody was like, damn. But I wonder if they really knew it was all for Niecy.
He loved that woman.
And he almost breaks down crying at just the way she phrased it. Like, if they knew it was all for her. And he like did that thing where his head went to his chest a little bit. And then she was like, look, Ray wants you to be hand of the queen. And he took a sip of that Uncle Nearest from his flask and he was like, ain't she got enough? I got a dead son, a dead wife, my daughter dead. What the fuck do she want from me? Okay, I've given everything to this cause.
I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call her one?
But Bayla is like, it's a badge of honor to be selected for the hand. And he's like, Ray just doing this to compensate me for my loss. And Bayla's like, well then take your ass to King's Landing then. They'll accept your allegiance with glee.
Right. She's like, make a decision, nigga. It's still gonna be a war regardless of how you feel about it.
And he's like, I'd rather sail to the west and get lost. She says, you did that already at great cost to yourself and the ones who love you.
Right. You did that shit. You left the woman you loved here and something happened to you and she didn't know what to do while your ass was gone.
Right. Not to mention you got bastards. I don't know what you be doing out there.
Right.
And then, this is my favorite part, when Bayla read him down. Oh, God. This acting, this delivery, this character, I fell in love. Fuck, man. She is her mama's daughter. She said, Ray niece wasn't your wife. And she said it like that with the bold on your wife. As like possession. She said she wasn't your wife, a thing to be taken from you. She was a Targaryen princess, the queen who never was. And she flew to Rook's Rest on her own will in defense of her king. And he went, and she died. And then Bayla was like, yeah, she died like a bad bitch. With honor in Dragonfire, the way my mother chose, which is also his daughter, and the way I wish to meet my end. I grieve my grandmother who loved me, but I carry her on with me. I will see Ray ascend to the throne as Niecy wished, as Niecy should have. You as yourself may see fit. And then she goes to leave after handing him the pennant for the hand of the queen. And then he's like, wait, you want to hear Driftmark?
And I said, bitch, didn't your wife tell you to do that like a season ago? What is we talking about? She told you even when your son died. And you was like, not no woman.
Right. Like now, he always care about legacy. He's such a clout chaser. And she answers, I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass the salt and sea and leaves. Oh, wearing that red. Girl. Oh, you better show off.
Yeah,
she fucking like, killed this scene.
I am not designed for this. Like... Somebody needs this, but it can't be me.
Oh, God, I love her. I fucking love her.
And I'm glad, because you know what that shows you? You should have listened to your wife, because she probably would have been more willing to do it when she was younger.
Yeah, but it still wouldn't have fit. She's a dragon rider.
Right.
She doing the right thing. Then we go back to Dragonstone. So Ray calls Sir Alfred in to tell him, I need you to go to Harrenhal and meet with Daemon. He like, you removing me from the council? Like, is you just trying
to what's the point?
This your way of getting me out of the house? And she was like, nah, you might be my biggest hater, but I know you loyal. You a company man. I'm sending you because Daemon ignores ravens. Mm-hmm. And if I send ravens, he just not gonna send nothing back. And I need to know, is he raising that army for me? Or is he raising that army for himself, for his own claim to the throne, which we heard him say in Harrenhal that he was. So he said, anything else you want me to tell him? She said, I would very much like to finish our last conversation. Just tell him that. Mm-hmm. I think that means she is interested in talking to him about splitting power and being co-rulers. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. Maybe she means she gonna flex on him and be like, bitch, you gonna do, I'm the king, queen, and you just supposed to do what I tell you to do. But I wonder, I feel like she's realizing she does need him. People do respect and listen to him. She's at that table. She don't know nothing about war. He does. And it's really making shit so inefficient without him around.
That, and I wonder if that's what she means, but I wonder how he's going to take that.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to see them have a conversation. Mm-hmm. I think both of them have, in their own ways, said they would like to be co-leads.
Yes.
I feel if my interpretation of this is correct, she sounds like maybe she's open to some type of splitting of power. And then his thing with she can come to King's Landing and rule with me, king and queen, feels like him saying they would also be splitting power somehow. Who knows if they'll figure that out.
Right.
Then Ray leans against the fireplace in her room, the same way Damon leaned against the fireplace in Harrenhal looking for answers. She goes against her hair dish so she can go to bed. We see her handmaiden, Elinda, from earlier, who left in the night, arrive at King's Landing, her do-dirt hoodie. A gold cloak tells her, move along. And then she's like, I'm here to do an errand for Missaria. And he said, oh, say less.
He was like, because at first he was like, look, everybody, you want to get in. Everybody's trying to get out this bitch.
Right, but he said, I got you. So she goes in, and we see her knock on the door of the girl who was sexually assaulted by Aegon in season 1 that had to drink that moon tea. So that abortion tea, that morning after tea.
I was like, boy, them rumors about to start if that's the purpose.
And so we also see Corlys sitting on his throne in Driftmark, and he actually clutches the pen of the hand of the king, meaning I think he's going to accept the job.
I think he is too.
Thank fucking God. Because when he come in that room, they do respect him. Even Alfred Bloom shut his ass up. When he came in that room, he's like, okay, my bad. Jace goes to talk to his mama in the library. She's looking at an old book with one of their ancestors named Visenya, who was the original rider of Vagar. And she said, she's like, how did your visit go with the Freys? Because she know he went to the Freys and not the Harrenhal. And he's like, it went good. And she was like, you know what, I'm actually proud of you. He's like, well, why you look so fucking mad about it?
Right.
And she's like, because even you got to do some shit and I can't.
Right. And I think this was like a bonding time between them, because she was like, the way you feel is the way I feel, nigga. I have to sit here and do nothing while everybody else does something.
They're both frustrated.
Yes.
Because they both feel placed in a box by the trappings of royalty and the bloodline and succession and how they must be protected. But they have that Targaryen hot blood and they want to fight. They want to be out there. Like, that's why Baela not scared. That's why she's such a dope character, because she's like, yeah, let's fucking battle. I don't give a fuck if I don't got the biggest dragon. Put me in, coach. And so he's like, well, let me do it. Let me get out there and fight. And she said, you know your dragon too young. You just gonna get ate up like Luke. And then she brings up Daemon. He brings up Daemon, but he don't even finish that sentence. He's like, well, Daemon could fight.
Yeah, I don't like that response.
And then she says, we don't have an answer for Vagar. Aemon probably finna come up here and burn us all at some point when Vagar starts recovering. And then I'm gonna have to fight. And they quibble for a while before she says, you know what, I just need dragons. And he said, we got mad dragons under the keep.
Right. The whole point of that keep is that they got dragons up underneath them, and the dragons breathe fire and breath so much that the whole place fucking steams up because of the dragons.
The dragon, it's called Dragonstone because there's dragons underneath the keep. We did see these dragons last season, in the very last scene of the last episode. When Daemon went underneath the keep, he was holding a torch and a big ass fucking dragon was under there. It looked as big as Vagar. So we know there are riderless dragons there. We also saw sea smoke flying around, and Masari said he probably missed having a fucking owner and shit. So there are dragons with no riders, and that's what she points out is we don't have riders. We got dragons, but fuck we gonna do with that? He was like, what about Rhaena? And she's like, Rhaena almost got killed last time she tried to tame a dragon. I'm like, so y'all ain't gonna let her try again? But you know, I think I will say this: if Rhaena almost got killed last time she tried to claim a dragon, and now they're not letting her be on a dragon, it changes my opinion a little bit of how they sent her off. Cause I was like, you sending her off, that's fucked up. But if it's really like it's this or one of these dragons gonna fucking eat you down the pit, yeah, send her off.
We don't want them eating you.
Yeah, and maybe you do care about that baby. It's not just putting her on the sideline for no reason.
Right, and it's also one of those things where, hey, one of these dragon eggs will hatch and be yours, and then you could bond with it a little differently versus one that's already matured.
So then she's like, Jason's like, well, what about all the Kirkland brand Valerians? Like, it's a lot of Timu Valerians and Targaryens.
Off-brand Valerians.
Yeah, get the fucking Timu ones and all this shit. And she was like, well, you know, the history say only a pure blood can bond to a dragon. And he's like, our ancestors wrote the histories, and they wrote the histories to make us look like the gods.
Yeah.
They would never admit that anyone could bond with the dragons. It needs to be a thing only we can do, but we don't actually know that it's a thing only we can do. And they're sitting in a fucking room full of scrolls that have their family history on it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, look, you can look through these scrolls, find out.
We can look through these scrolls and find out who had the last family reunion and start reaching out to everybody.
Right. And so she like, go get the 23andMe, bitch. We doing this. Call Skip Gates. We ready to go on
we
motherfucking.
We about to do a documentary and find out.
We finding our roots tonight.
Yes.
So we finally got some hope for Team Black.
Yeah, they doing 23andMe Dragon.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Oh.
She don't be listening. They finally have some hope. I'm sure them bastard brothers getting dragons next week because them whole boys, they had one of them looking at the dragon. Mm-hmm. Now I do kind of feel like I'm a little scared because you don't put something like this in the show for everybody to bond with a dragon. Somebody getting ate by or burned up by a dragon.
Yeah, next week we about to see somebody get flamed.
Yeah.
That dragon be like, nope.
It's gonna be a game show called Can You Tame That Dragon? And some contestants are
going to lose.
Not winning. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know what happens when you don't tame a dragon, but my guess is the same thing that happened to everything else that fuck with a dragon.
You get torched.
Yeah. But you know what?
You will not be getting the rose. Like somebody said, a bastion. No, you be getting no flames.
Just keep going through until you can get one. Someone said Timu Garians. That's hilarious. Yeah, somebody has to fucking go and get these Wish Valerians.
Yeah, you see somebody coming up like, and coming up next, this person has a good bloodline, and they were married to such, and now step on the plate, and survey says, nope, I guess you lost. All right, who's up next?
Yep, it's gonna be a competition.
Put him out there like a new used car.
Yeah, it's gonna be America's Top Dragon Rider or whatever. So yeah, I can't wait for next week. Dragon Riders, mount up.
Yes.
Karen, what you looking forward to next week?
To see who's gonna get touched by dragons. And it's gonna be fun to see what's gonna happen at King's Landing when Massaria started the rumors up. You know, I wonder the girl who they gave that moon tea to, I wonder, is there more to her? I wonder, did the moon tea not work? I wonder what rumors are gonna spread to cause disarray in the city.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if Aegon is able to talk, because then I feel like then you go back to like, is he still the king? And it's just like Viserys, where we got to let him lead. And if Aemon gonna take that line down, and of course the dragon trials. All right, y'all, that's been our recap for the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back Saturday for feedback. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.